Hi, Melvin Songbird, the Michelle Bird song in New York City. The name of this video, part 2 of Don't Arrest Gurinder Singh Dhillon. Okay, I'll begin where I left off for part 1. This is Gurinder Singh Dhillon, in case you don't know. Jesus Christ, the Buddha, Santa Claus. And this is his wife, Mary Magdalene, in the 1st century. My daughter Robin was St. Francis of Assisi. This is Robin. Okay. And Galileo and Michelangelo, who lay on his back off and on for 4 years, reaching up, painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the mansion of the Pope. As Galileo, she was put under house arrest, where after 8 years he died. Why was he imprisoned in a first-class prison, but a prison nevertheless? For telling the truth. He confirmed Copernicus's, who was Gurinder Singh Dhillon, model of the solar system, the sun being the center, where the other planets, including Earth, revolves around them. It's still true today. We depend on the sun being there for us to receive, as I mentioned earlier, light without which we die in darkness, heat without which we live in an ice age and freeze to death, and plants for food without which we'd be dead. Okay, this is what the sun gives us. Word about Christopher Columbus, Melanie Lynn Spear, St. Patrick. St. Patrick, patron saint of the poor. She has gone forth and multiplied as God ordered us to do. She and her 4 children, all saints, have suffered poverty their entire lives, including Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Lou, her youngest boy, and Hiawatha, St. Kabir, her youngest girl. Columbus, as Vincent van Gogh, the mentally tortured genius whose painting recently sold for $60 million, yet when he was alive, his poverty drove him to commit suicide at age 32. As Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, she was sexually molested by her brothers. And wound up killing them. They returned to enter her life, this life. At 2 years old, one of her brothers, posing as a family friend, a boy of 12 years old, Jason Llewellyn, a drug dealer like his father, Willie Llewellyn, had been sexually molesting her, Melanie. He stuck his penis in her behind, then into her mouth, while his mother, who was supposed to be babysitting little Melanie Lynn Spear, once Cleopatra, once Christopher Columbus. So, Linda called me on the phone, Jason's mother, and said Melanie said Jason had done this to her, but she didn't believe her. I believed her, so I went right up there, taking Michael, her father, with me, and we took her to the hospital, and the doctor said, no, she was all right, but psychologically, of course, she wasn't all right. Linda beat Jason brutally, and I told him, I just want you to tell me the truth. I'll forgive you. I just need to know the truth. And he said, yes, I did that. So Jason wound up becoming having as his idol a guy with no legs who walked on his hands in their building, and he was an African, and Jason followed him to Africa. Jason's mother, Linda Llewellyn, warned him they have a lot of diseases in Africa, and Jason was dead in 10 days of malaria, and Linda had a hell of a time trying to get his body back to the States. Okay, so Melanie Lynn's biological father, unbeknownst to Melanie's mother or father at that time, was classical music conductor Isaiah Allen Jackson, and her father, due to proximity, was Michael John Spear, who had been the Radhaswami master, Sawan Singh, Lucifer, who brought his grandson, Charan Singh, and his Jesus Christ to his castle at the Dara to live when they were 5 years old. That's Charan Singh and his brother. When they were 5 years old, Sawan Singh had Charan Singh, Jesus Christ, Santa Claus, suck his penis. Lucifer, you hear this? Lucifer made Christ, Jesus Christ, at 5 years old, suck his dick. You understand that? Sawan Singh had been St. Anthony. Sawan Singh, now called Michael John Spear, has to eat free vegetarian food at St. Anthony's Soup Kitchen in San Francisco. He says some days he can't get it down. It makes him gag. I wonder if that's how Jesus Christ felt about the gag when he had to do what he had to do. Poetic justice for Lucifer. He also was Albert Speer, the Nazi friend of Hitler's, now Stevie Wonder. Lucifer drove his wife, who did this? Hitler drove his wife of 1 month, Eva Braun, Christopher Columbus, Melanie L. Spear, to suicide. Are you seeing St. Patrick's hell? Are you seeing the hellish things that happened to him as Vincent van Gogh, as Eva Braun, all these people? Such was some of the horror of the past lives of St. Patrick, Melanie Lynn Spear. More about him and her later. And Jesus Christ was put to death. Just speaking of how they treat saints, Jesus Christ, who was Charan Singh, the saint, was put to death, a horrendous, excruciatingly painful death. Why? For telling the truth. He and his Father, the Son, God, were one. They were and are on the same wavelength, same frequency, the frequency of reality. German psychiatrist Eve Fritz Perls and his wife told you what reality is. It is now. It is the present, gifted moment. If you will be disciplined enough to be present in the moment, you will be at the frequency of God. You too and God will be the same. One God. Now, the media, are destroying the God-man's life. Talking about Gurinder Singh Dhillon, Jesus Christ. Just like last time, in the 1st century, he will return to life, and with the other good people, including the Holy Royal Family of humans. I should have had the camera on Charan Singh when I was talking about Lucifer made him suck his dick when he was a little boy. And he was such a perfect master. He really was. He was always kind, gentle spoken, soft spoken, and always had almost smile on his face. He seemed so happy. Okay, so what am I saying? So Gurinder Singh will return to life, and with the other good people, including the holy royal family of humans, mystics, saints, geniuses, and gods, of which Gurinder Singh Dhillon is the head, the king of the cosmos. His number one wife, Mary Magdalene, the Michelle Birdsong, Eve is a queen. My daughter Melanie Lynn Spear, Christopher Columbus, the scapegoat of the do-nothings, but criticize those who do good. Melanie has given me grandchildren, and the world, grandchildren, 4 souls that were saints in their past lives. Lou Randinger, her youngest son, was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he had been the poet saint Princess Mirabai. Ostara Gloria, in the custody of her satanic father, was Saint Kabir, Hiawatha, and the great peacemaker united 5 warring tribes into the great Iroquois nation. The Michelle Birdsong was a great peacemaker that worked with Hiawatha. Hiawatha also was Chief Sitting Bull. My granddaughter and Melanie Lynn Spears' oldest daughter, Jindara Michelle Randiger, had been my mother, Miss Frog, a projection of Baba Jamal Singh, Gurinder Singh, the founder of the Dera Baba Jamal. You see what that means? Gurinder Singh was the founder and the guru of Radhaswami, the second time. He took another birth, another term of serving nearer every waking moment, like when he was supreme commander of Allied forces during World War II, appointed by the Prime Minister of Great Britain, the United Kingdom. He was General Dwight David Eisenhower. After the war, the country wanted more service from him. He was elected President Dwight David Eisenhower. Now my twins due November 4th, 2019. You can see I took a picture of my belly. It's sticking out, the womb is pushing it out. Can you see it here? These are the breasts. And this is and the baby's father, this is the girl's father, Gurinder Singh Dhillon, and this is the boy's father, the son, God. Okay, what was I going to say about them? Will they be born? Oh, I know. I was talking about the way they treat saints. The boy was Wayne Dyer, and he was Pope. He was the Saint Pope Linus, the successor to Saint Pope Peter, who was the successor to Jesus Christ. And the girl saint was Swami Aryan, and he founded a religion. So, you see, these are saints, and I was saying, will they be born in this room so small? There isn't room for a chair or a desk. I had to put life on the walls. Mother Teresa, the saint of Calcutta, has been reborn as royalty. seems fair to me. She's the newest child of Prince William and Princess Kate. Prince Louis, that's her name now, this life. She died and went to heaven, the physical heaven, heaven on earth. Princess Diana has returned to Prince Harry as his son Archie. He is an insider in the royal family, not an outsider like he was as Princess Di. She died and went to heaven. We don't have to die to go to heaven. Gurinder Singh Dhillon has said, though, place to be heaven on earth. For those who want to be here, who intend to, who are determined to do the right thing as his master Charan Singh did. Charan Singh, this is Charan Singh, made sure Jesus Christ and St. Nicholas Santa Claus remains on earth forever in the form of Gurinder Singh Dhillon. To finish up with Melanie Lynn's spirit story, as much as I know, sometimes new things come up every day that I hadn't known. She had been my grandmother, the one I secretly blamed for the downfall of my mother, hence my father. My father was the highly respected Reverend Dr. Wilbur Daniel, who desegregated the college, the graduate school of the college, Austin P., in my hometown of Clarksville, Tennessee, where my mother, Gurinder Singh's projection, couldn't attend because she was colored. So we lived poor. Reverend Daniel was Daniel in the Lion's Den, and he was a pastor of St. John Baptist Church. My oldest son, raised by a neighbor in Chicago, Anthony Craig Williams, had been Jesus Christ's master, St. John the Baptist. I grew up at 212 St. John Street with my other father, my now son, Singh Birdsong, a projection of Charan Singh Jesus Christ, now Gurinder Singh Dhillon. He said once, "I can say no." See, Charan Singh couldn't say no to Lucifer. He was 5 years old. Okay, my other mother, Andoni, now my daughter, Robin Michelle Birdsong, Gurinder Singh's other daughter. My grandmother had given my mother, Miss Frog, to Andoni and Brother Wright at 212 St. John Street. I thought her giving away my mother was why my mother didn't live up to her potential. She had been the most beautiful woman ever to live in Clarksville, Tennessee, and she was valedictorian of her class, yet she worked earning 2.5 cents a shirt. Okay, I'm going to close the video for now, and I'll do a part 3.